Yo, what's up guys, Bricks5D here. The Granyt Doorkeep Fusion is finally in the game and players in Raid are currently doing a bunch of events, tournaments. They might be opening their shards along the week and just to get rares, fuse into epics and finally get this legendary champion. You know how fusions go in Raid, it's gonna last for a while and you have to spend your resources this time around if you want this legendary champion. By now, you probably have already made that decision, if not from the first impression videos we did when we saw his kit to the now videos that other creators who have access to the test server have done showcasing this champion in all his glory, how he can do crazy things with this skill that totally ignores all these buffs that can keep enemies alive, stone skin, unkillable, block damage, and also this crazy passive that guarantees he gets a ton. A passive that will make sure he removes fear through fear provoke. Anything that stops him from getting a ton or using his kit, he's gonna remove it before he even goes for the damage, right? So that's what this crazy champion is gonna be all about. Let's not forget about this 100% more damage on these champions that have this buffs that he's gonna be ignoring. So these are the two reasons why I'm going for it. You have to decide whether you want to go for it or not. And of course, do you have the resources? These guides or this type of videos help you see the entire event as a whole so you can decide before you even start it. You don't want to go halfway and end this one. And of course, I'm going to be taking a look at these rares and epics because these are brand new rares and epics to see whether they are useful or we just have another trash epic or another rare. I don't know what they do rare yet. I've not seen them. We only saw this champion coming a while ago before it was finally in the game now. All right. So what is this fusion plan going to be like? We already see that the Fire Knight and a Dungeon Divers is going on. Those are the two events that I had to wait from yesterday. No need to go crazy on a Monday. Hopefully you waited till the Tuesday where CVC, a personal reward CVC, has started, and as I speak to you right now, my Fire Knight is farming in the background because yes, we have this background farming going on right now. So if you don't want to auto sell, or maybe you have your auto sell rules set up right here. So that's what I'm doing right now, farming the Fire Knight because that's the first event that kicks up yesterday, but I'm starting it on Tuesday because I wanted to wait for CVC to kick off before I go in crazy for this Fire Knight farming. All right, you see that the Dungeon Divers, as it used to be called in Raid, is now called Gear Hunters event. So don't be confused. That's still a Dungeon Divers. Maybe because we used to complain that, oh, Dungeon Divers is too hard, Dungeon Divers is too long. Now they changed the name to Gear Hunters event. All right, it's still Dungeon Divers. I don't know if this is just a one-off thing or this is going to be the new name going forward. Let's see for the next one when they release it again, whether they call it Gear Hunters event or no or not. There was no announcement to that effect. They just changed the name. They didn't tell us, or maybe I didn't see that announcement. From henceforth, Dungeon Divers will now be called Gear Hunters event. That's not something to complain about. I'm just saying, I'm just noticing that it was changed. And so if you're used to seeing Dungeon Divers is not this event, you'll see Gear Hunters event 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2. All right, let's go into it. Fire Knight is starting today and I'm already farming it right there. A gear enhancements did kick off today, so as you farm this Fire Knight gear, you can go ahead and cleanse it and create some more space because storage is still a problem in Raid. Your artifacts will be overflowing. I currently even have over 200 in my inbox. Added to this one I'm farming, it might even be more. After that, I have to do some gear enhancement, do some cleansing, build some champions if I have to get this gear enhancement done. These fusions you have to prepare ahead of time. It's not now that you begin to save some silver and look for. No, the first artifact enhancement event should be using the silver you've saved before the fusion even started. So by farming some Fire Knight, you even get some more silver. By selling the trash gear and doing a gear cleanse, you get some silver to complete this. So this first Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday events are straightforward and easy to complete for most players. This is not where the issue lies. Now these Dungeon Divers did cut across several days, as you can see, and we're looking forward to see if it cuts into a second dungeon event like a dragon, ice golem. Normally we'll have one Dungeon Divers event. Yes, I'm gonna keep calling it Dungeon Divers event. I don't think this Gear Hunters event will click for me today, but it will take a while, so bear with me as I still call this one Dungeon Divers. Normally we have a Dungeon Divers event cutting into two events, dragon or Fire Knight, but this one clearly the dragon does not touch the Dungeon Divers, right? You can see it doesn't touch it, so this Dungeon Divers will end before this dragon kicks off. If you want to risk it, you might go to the event, the play around play right here, and actually see if it starts at the same time or if they do end at the same time. Gear enhancement, there you go. Dragon is kicking off right after gear enhancement, gear hunters event ends. So this shows you that it does not touch it at all. You cannot use this dragon to complete gear hunters event. So I guess we're farming the Fire Knight until we complete Dungeon Divers. That's a lot of Fire Knight farming, I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot. If you're farming with Fire Knight right now, there is a Fire Knight event, right, that is attached to it. Or it's just a normal Fire Knight event. Damn, that's gonna be a lot of Fire Knight farming. I thought there was a drop fever event attached to it. There is not. So we're just farming the Fire Knight for farming's sake. Well, as usual, once I'm done with my Fire Knight farming, I will stop farming it and switch over to the spider, to use the spider to complete this Dungeon Divers 1 event. That's usually how it goes for me. I'm not going to use an entire Fire Knight to go crazy, except you want some Savage gear or some Regen gear. You can keep farming the Fire Knight all the way, but I'm going to switch it up. Next event, Dragon has to come with its own Dungeon Divers, I hope. Dragon is coming with, where is it? Where is the Dungeon Divers for Dragon? Am I blind? There it is. They're gonna choose this name. They need to change this name back to Dungeon Divers because this gear enhancement, this gear hunters event is kind of a strange one. So there you go. Dragon, champion training, and gear hunters events. So hopefully with these two events, you can use it to complete Dungeon Divers 2, right? But this one does cut across Ice Golem. So even if you don't use the Dragon and the champion training to complete this Dungeon Divers 2, you can use this Ice Golem right here. So this is what I was expecting from the first one. I guess if it doesn't happen for the first one, the second one did cut across 2 events, which is a good thing, I guess. Ice Golem and Dragon for the second one, plus some champion training, a very long champion training I might add. So it cuts across from a Thursday all the way to a Monday. Damn. All for how many? Is it gonna give us just 1 rare? All that champion training for 1 rare? Hopefully it's champion training that you can just pick up the rare pretty quick in the smaller points and then choose to go all the way or not for the legendary skill tome that normally put at 10k point. Hopefully not crazy 12k like they normally do these days now, crazy 14k. All right, so other rewards will be in there too. By the way, every event you see right here is giving you a rare, 1 copy of this rare and Glade Wolf. So that's something to note. You're not looking for fragments this time around. You're picking up copies of this rare champion. And please, for the love of God, do not use this rare as chicken by mistake. If you lock them, if you have to. So because you're waiting for a champion training to level them up, or you can put them in your tavern right there to get some XP along the way. All right, so let's see what other event is launching on this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because it's supposed to be an exciting one. That determines whether some players will still be in this fusion or not, because that counts as the first day Summon Rush kicks off. And when Summon Rush kicks off, it does also have a Classic Arena, which we don't talk about because it's too easy and they don't want to revamp Classic Arena or anything to make it more challenging or more exciting. It's just here to give us 1 rare. Too easy. I'm not saying they should make it hard, but this Summon Rush is not a boring one though. There is a second one right here, a twin Summon Rush. This second one will give you the epic champion. Most players these days in Raid have seen that if they pick up this epic champion from the Summon Rush, they can skip out on 4 whole events or tournaments during the rest of the fusion. So in my other fusion plans, I've always said I don't care about that Summon Rush that has the epic champion. I'm not going for it because it's gonna fall during a 10x event or 15x event, and I don't like 15x events. So if it falls during a 15x event and you're summoning a bunch of sacred shards, that's the best way to complete Summon Rush. 7 or 8 to get the epic champion or more. Normally 7 or 8, 3,500 points, 3,000 points. So if you're going to go for the epic champion, it guarantees or it allows you to skip out on 4 other events that you do not want to participate in. So Summon Rush coming up right here means that if you don't go for this epic champion, you have no other choice but to complete the rest of the events after this weekend that is coming up. So if by Friday, Saturday and Sunday you don't have an epic from this summons, from the summon rush, you have to complete every other event without skipping out on anyone, without mistakenly missing any of these rares. So that's something to note. Most players still get this epic champion and still get the rest of the event completed. Not me. So if I've been saying previously in my this type of fusion calendar videos that I'm gonna be skipping the 15x because I don't like them, this time around, because I might be too busy, I don't want to miss out on this champion, I might end up going for this one just so I have a little bit of cushion and skip out on some other events that I do not want to participate in. So another way to think about it is, if you go for the summon rush and go for the entire epic, you can easily skip out on the where's the other summoning event? Where is it? Is it at the end? Champion chase. There you go. You can't easily skip out on this champion chase. That's what is expected. But a champion chase being at the end of this fusion, most players in raid now think that at that end of this champion chase, we might see another reason to summon shards. And another easy reason to summon shard is by them giving us a 5-star soul for Granyt Doorkeep or some other event. But that's normally what would make players go for that champion chase right after they've pulled everything to pick up an epic champion in the summon rush. So you have to decide if you pick up this 15x Hilda from the summon rush by going the extra mile during the summon rush and not just stopping at the rare. Do you still want to have enough resources to go for the champion chase just in case they make it so juicy, so exciting that you do not want to skip it? So, but if you've gone for this, you can easily skip out on this. What other events are going on besides this summoning event that you have to decide? All other ones is about your energy, resources, silver. But this shard's own is one that is always a debate in the comment section and in communities. Most players now are deciding to just grab the epic and forget about 4 events. And I'm beginning to lean towards that direction. Let me know in the comments also if this plan should be different, right? I see a spider tournament that coincides with this event. Where is it? Event dungeon, gear hunters event, dungeon divers 3. There you go, right there. And that's the fusion plan. Classic Arena 2 is coming up also. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see if there are any other surprises hidden in this fusion. Well, I did check the Discords right now, checked everything. It seems like there are rumors of another summoning event that you might want to go for, but I'm not going to promote those rumors because we don't know yet. I even pulled up the calendar to check again. I don't think there's any other surprises waiting. Shredder's route. Do we have to farm the event dungeon during this event? Well, if you want to farm the event dungeon, you can, but I usually just focus on the fusion. And since this event dungeon is running along this dragon, maybe you want to use that dragon, this Shredder's route, to complete your Gear Hunters 1 event. So I don't think there's any other surprises coming up, but you can go to your Playroom Play and see the rest of the calendar. It runs all the way till the new month of October, and it's going to end on 8th of October. Remember, this fusion cannot be saved. So by this 2 weeks timeline, if you don't hit that fuse button, it's gone. 2 weeks and 1 day. If you don't get all the rares into the epic and hit the fuse button, this champion will disappear along with all the effort that you've put in so far. You will keep the rares, you will keep the epic you've gotten so far, but the champion will not be able to be fused for free, well, for 1 million plus silver, if you don't hit that fuse button by this date, right? As usual, I encourage you to hold on to these rares and epics until there's a champion training that requires you to, you know, get them up there to their 30s and 40s and 50s. But a lot of players will hold on to the champion chase, the last champion chase right here, before they finally hit that fuse button, because champion chase rewards you for getting the rares, right? No, making the res into the epic. So you might want to keep all your res until the Friday, the October 3rd, before you hit that res into the epic. That's something to note. Speaking of the epic, let's see whether there is anything special about this one, because not everybody in raid can obviously go for fusions like this. Some players might just be going for one copy of the epic and calling it a day. Let's find out if Hilda Amor Anon Dot, let's just call her Hilda, if Hilda will be anything amazing. She's also a dwarf. The legendary is a dwarf and she's also a dwarf. Okay, let's see. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense. Each critical hit has a 75% chance of stealing a random buff from the target. 10% ignore target's defense, A1. Not bad. The stealing is not bad, but it has to be crit in order to steal. 100% chance to steal if it's crit. So each hit. So she can steal 3 buffs from one target. Because if it's critting 1, 2, 3, that's 3 of their buffs is gone. Alright. Nice one, nice one. Not so very helpful, but definitely can help you keep some battles shorter, especially when they place all those unkillable buffs on themselves and block damage. You can just take it off with that A1, which is nice. So some auto battles will not stay there waiting for block damage to fall off, except it's protected though. Now on the A2, attacks one enemy 2 times. The damage inflicted by the skill increases by 10% for each debuff on the targets. Stacks up to 100% damage if the target has what? 10? Alright, so each debuff 10%, 10%, 10%. That's nice. But normally you have 2 debuffs on them, except it's a boss where you have a bunch of more debuffs and poisons on them, right? That's nice. That's a nice skill. Big damage dealing ability, 3 turn cooldown when you spend books on it. Each hit is 75% chance, 100% chance of landing, heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. This is definitely targeted at bosses. A single target hit that has 100% chance of placing heal reduction for 2 turns, and this amount of damage on the single target hit also is definitely targeted at bosses, not AoE wave clear content. Then this is the AoE skill right here. Before attacking, places 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Has a 40% chance of placing stun. That's very low. It's not a reliable stun, but it's still a stun, because any stun like this will appreciate it for content like the Corset City. We appreciate skills like this, but I don't know if you want to build up for damage or for the stun, but definitely can be used in that type of content. That's one content where I'm still trying to clear consistently, so that's why I'm very appreciative of champions who have stun on a 4 turn cooldown. Damn, that's a long turn. 4 turn cooldown AoE stun, 40% chance booked up to a 60% chance of landing that stun is not that bad. It's not. Alright, you can boost it with Mastery's Auto to what, 65% chance. Allies deal 15% more damage to targets under heal reduction. 15% more damage to a boss because we place heal reduction. That's good. Or a stun debuff placed by this champion. If there are multiple champions, yeah. So this champion is not a special epic, but I think she will have some niche uses. Definitely very, very happy about this skill. Added to the fact that she can do a bunch of big nukes with this one on bosses. So you can decide wave, champion, nuker, but when she lands this skill first, which you normally want to start with, that's when this one begins to hit hard, right? She does have an aura in all battles by 20%. So not my best epic in the game, not one that I want to grab and build immediately, but definitely one you want to hold on to if you're still in the early game and you're not going for the fusion all the way, but you want to build a champion who can help you stun the wave in faction war. At least one copy of this champion for faction war is definitely going to be helpful. If I was still struggling to get my Lydia, she seems like one that I'll add to the list of on my team right here. Alright, this is a Void champion, Glade Wolf. And by the way, if you're summoning shards on the summon rush, you want to pray and hope you get a copy of her. Just from this summon rush that day, if you're summoning up to that 7 or more sacred shards, you want to pray and hope you get 1 copy of her. Not just from the summon rush, but also just from your shard. That will make the fusion so much easier and make you even complete the fusion earlier than expected, like some players are lucky sometimes to do. But if you're not summoning void shards, some players also use void shards to complete summon rush. I've seen it happen. So maybe you're also looking for a few copies of this rare while you're doing that on your account. But anyways, he's gonna be a 3-hitter champion. Not even a small. That's not a small copy of decrease speed though. That's a big version of decrease speed. But it's just one on one enemy. Oh, big version of decrease speed on one enemy. AoE 50% chance of placing provoke. Booked up to a 75% chance of placing provoke for 1 turn. Okay. Counter attack on this champion for 2 turns. Also places ally protection. He's supposed to be tanky. Damage based off defense. Yeah, he can be tanky. Accuracy for the provoke. And then ally protection. So I don't think in raid these days we appreciate rares as much as we are supposed to, because there's not a lot of content where they are super helpful, especially when you have epic alternatives and maybe even legendaries. But for the early game, would not even recommend players to focus a lot more on rares, because you normally just push from shards and start getting epics, which take a while to build. So again, this is a new rare added to the game, not a useless one. I feel like this one will have some niche uses, especially in, let's say there's content where you have to use only Silver Watchers faction champions, or you want to use, you're forced to use rares. He could come in definitely with some of this provoke that I see right here happening on his kit, and the ally protection for your allies, and then the A1 decrease speed. So he does have some utility. Decrease the damage this champion received by 5% for each ally under ally protection. All right. So I just wanted to look over all this information that was released yesterday that I did not have chance to review, and now I'm all caught up. I think there's nothing else that I want to announce in this video, right? Whoa, the 15x progressive chance event going on right now. Let's not talk about that, because it's for the whales. It's for those players who are going crazy on CVC right now, because there's personal rewards attached to it. So if you're one of those going crazy for CVC, then you want to definitely take a look at the progressive chance event. There's a one coming up today. There's one going on today for these champions on the list. Let me show them. So you do have your Raphael up there, and then there's another one tomorrow which has April O'Neil, Prince Kaima, Lord Entertainer Fabian, Osgrown the Defiler, Theodore the Savant, Queen of Hearts, Sifi the Lost Bride tomorrow, and Diamond Copper Coin. So if you're those going crazy for CVC, or you're just feeling lucky because you're close to Messi, then you definitely want to take advantage of this and grab one copy of your best champions and summon them depending on the shard that is close to Messi for you. For me, I think it's gonna be Ancient Shard. I think I'm like 80 in. I don't know, but I'm not going for this event because we're in the middle of the fusion, and this progressive chance event for Wednesday and Tuesday has nothing to do with the fusion. The portal is glowing, but yes, it's not because of the fusion. It's because there's a progressive chance event that aligns with CVC as usual, a normal schedule progressive. All right, that's all the info I have in this video right here. Hopefully you found it useful. I just wanted to get caught up with everything happening in raid and come back real strong as we go strong into this fusion. I will be doing my Fire Knight. Once it's done, I'll switch over to some gear enhancement and wait until the next event lines up, which is going to be the Dragon. For now, that's the only thing I'm doing right now in raid. If you catch me on stream twitch.tv/Granyt5D, I will have raid in the background while I probably chat with you guys or have play other games and all that stuff. So watch the streams if you have time. But yeah, let me remind you, we're still about 16 subscribers away from hitting that 8k subscriber mark, a huge milestone for any raid content creator. You know, that's when access to the test server unlocks. That's when higher tier rewards unlock. Even for you guys, we got to do giveaways twice a month. So that's a huge milestone that I'm trying to hit on the channel. So if you've not hit that subscribe button yet, it's totally free to hit that subscribe button and like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.